Sinners. Let's talk about it. Sinners is directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack, two identical twins who return to their hometown of Mississippi to start a new life and to leave their troubles behind, only to find an evil entity waiting for their arrival. So yeah, guys, this is a pretty late review, I have to admit, because unfortunately, this movie came out just a couple of days ago right here in Malta, which was a couple of weeks after it was released worldwide. And also, I'm currently battling through a really bad allergy at the moment, so my voice is not at 100%. So I have to apologize for both of those remarks. But as they say, it's better late than never, and that long wait was certainly worth it because this is a damn good movie. Ryan Coogler is 5 movies in, and he's yet to misfire with his filmography. He opened up with his powerful debut with Fruitvale Station, followed up with arguably the best Rocky movie of the franchise with Creed. With Black Panther, he made one of the most compelling stories of the MCU, and its sequel, Wakanda Forever, what probably is worst was an emotional send-off to Chadwick Boseman and a decent film at the same time. So now we have Sinners, which is his first foray into horror, and it might be his most ambitious work to date, and also his best. If there's something I love most about movies is originality, and this movie is wholly original, from its story to its characters, and even how everything else is executed. This may be a horror movie, but the horror comes second here. Coogler spends the entire first hour immersing you in the period with its 1930s Deep South setting, while also taking his time and patience to introduce and flesh out the characters in full effect. And it's also where its themes come into fruition, all divided into a layered structure where racial exploitation and the black culture are explored, while also showing how much power, identity, legacy, and music one has or leaves behind, with its supernatural horror being its connective tissue. That first act is a quite slow burn, I have to admit, but that build-up works. You immediately get invested in Smoke and Stack and what they are setting up, alongside their backstories with each one they get along with the characters, and the performances are all excellent, and there are two actors that are absolute standouts here. Coogler continues his collaboration with Michael B. Jordan here, and the latter plays not only the main role, but he also plays a dual role with Smoke and Stack, as I said. He's following Robert Pattinson and Robert De Niro's footsteps with this year, with what they did with Mickey 17 and The Alto Knights, respectively. And this is definitely his best performance of his entire career. He is showcasing his acting chops in full display, from his distinct personalities to the accent, and his mix of vulnerability and physicality that captures the authenticity of being a twin. I mean, being a twin myself, I can absolutely relate. And that authenticity is just captured in full effect by Michael B. Jordan. It's a fantastic performance. And he made both twins so investing at the same time. Now, the likes of Delroy Lindo, Haley Steinfeld, and Jack O'Connell are all great in this film. But the second standout in this film, probably besides Michael B. Jordan, I think he is the main standout of this entire film, is Miles Catton as Sammy. And shockingly enough, this is his very first movie to date. And I say shocking because he feels like he's been in the business for a very long time. He's working with the likes of Coogler, Jordan, Delroy Lindo, and Haley Steinfeld, as I said. And he's the best of the bunch. He knocks it out of the park, both in acting and in the vocals. And there's one absolutely incredible scene, probably the best scene of the entire film. If you've seen the film, you know what scene I'm talking about, where he just transports the audience to a whole other level with his songs, with what he's singing, basically. And this is the perfect time to talk about the score of this film, which is absolutely incredible. This is one of those movies that shows just how key music is to a movie. There are movies where taking out the music breaks the entire thing. You take out Ludwig Göransson's score, and you have yourselves a completely different movie. Just like what it does to the characters, the mix of vintage blues and modern soul transcends your mind, has a spiritual feel to it that is obviously central to its main theme of music throughout this entire film. And Göransson is for sure going to get an Oscar nomination for this score. So you're not only immersed in its story, characters, and music, but also in its setting, because this is a pretty film. The cinematography really captures 1930s Mississippi very, very authentically. However, Sinners isn't a perfect movie, and I do have some issues with it. Not much, but I do have some. The biggest issue I have here is definitely the pacing, and that is unfortunately a consequence of its slow first act. And sadly, not everyone is gonna have the patience for it, because the movie does linger on the characters in that first act, as I said. And the horror stuff, while great, blood, gore, fangs, and all that jazz, is all great and it's all exciting, but that sudden change in tone is quite abrupt and felt. And even the ending of the film, the ending also, it wrapped itself up a little bit too hastily, in my opinion. And as a result, it feels like it does have like 2 or 3 different endings tied together. Now, do stay after the credits, because there's not 1 but 2 post-credit scenes, and both are fantastic in my opinion. With that being said, Ryan Coogler is 5 on 5 in his filmography. Sinners is easily one of the best movies of the year, and I'm giving it an 85% on the score meter. Those are my thoughts on Sinners. Guys, if you've watched the movie, let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.